this is the first time I went mudding. All right? Now, when I go mudding, I go with my god family. That consists of Dwayne, Melissa, Maddie, Kate, and Derek. And they all have like a bunch of four-wheelers and a truck. And we go out and do a bunch of stuff. We go mudding out in Holopie usually. Holopie is a region of Florida, and it's mostly wooded. It's all wooded, and you can buy land out there, or you can just do whatever the heck you want. Like, because there's no police. You can basically do a lot of illegal things and get away with it. You wouldn't want to be out on your property there because you'd probably get shot. Like a stray projectile. There's a lot of people out there shooting and hunting and stuff. Yeah, you wouldn't want to live out there. So we go mudding out there, and it's like, when I say forest, I mean the forest moon of Endor. That's what it looks like. It's you could imagine in the things all the Ewoks. Ewoks building their little thingos up in the trees. And that's exactly what I, in my head, I just pictured. Holy crud! I'm a stormtrooper out here riding those speedo things.
Speedo Megiddo.
The Speedo Megiddo. Speedo McBeedo mosquitoes. They're those speeder pods that they fight in the like the anyway. We're on four-wheelers and in the back of trucks and in my mom's car and stuff. And it's all like, it's hills. It's not like hills, but it's like slopes and stuff. And it really feels like you are on a Speedo Mosquito going through the forest of Endor. And there's mud. There's mud everywhere. That's why it's called mud. You get mud slung up on your face, mud slung. By the end of it, we were coated in mud. Like, if we had stood still for too long in the sun, it would have hardened and we would have become statues. That's how thick it was. Thick. So, of course, there are these slopes. The best part of the slopes. Right? So halfway through, we ended covered in mud, and halfway through we're like, we don't want to go home this dirty, because we thought we were going to end. And then we're like, oh, you know what? No, we're having fun. Let's keep doing it. I got flung off. So there was this one track. It looked like someone had built with mud. It was probably the Begnos. They go out there a lot. And it was like almost an obstacle course. It had slopes and turns and swoops and stops and bumps, right? So I'm going over it. I'm like, I'm going to do this with no hands. I'm on the back of Dwayne's four-wheeler. I'm like, bad idea to do it with no hands. I of course grab on after the second swerve. I'm going up and you guys can't see these movements, but I'm going all over like like swooping. All right, and we stop. We do this like a bumpy thing where it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, and I get flung forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, and then we stop. We hit a log, and I go flying over this. Like there's a tree stump. I fly. We hit the log. I fly probably 15 feet. Like no joke, 15 feet. The thing goes in, and I land right in a puddle of mud. In a puddle of mud, you could swim in this thing. And I poke my head out. I'm covered in mud, and there's probably hog crap in there. And Mom's like, we need to wash you off. And Dwayne's like, oh yeah, there's a river this way, that way, all the ways. So we go to this river. Now the river was fun. It was less of a river, more of a creek. But we hop in, we're playing around, we're splashing. A dirty diaper goes by. We're like, goes by. We let that pass. All right. We start jumping off this tree. But before we start jumping off this tree, Maddie gets really scared because she's like, holy crap, look at that massive snake. There's a big snake. There's a huge snake. It is, right? It's like that thick and like that long. It's not even a boa constrictor. It's this weird tan, almost looks like a water moccasin. We have a lot of water moccasins in Florida. We do. And so I'm like, what snake? Where's the snake? He's confused why I don't see the snake because it's massive. I'm looking. He's like, you're looking straight at it, dude. I'm like, is it under the hat? And I pick up the hat, and he's like, "Oh, it's just a hat." The snake was a hat. It was a broken hat. It was just the rim of a hat. They cut out the center part of the hat, and it was like a sun hat. So we start jumping off the tree. It's all fun. It's a very shallow creek. It's not. We really shouldn't have been jumping off. Someone could have broken some bones, like badly. And we're like, "Oh yeah, it was fun. It's time to go home now." And Mom's like, "Well, no, we're having so much fun. We're gonna keep mudding." So we keep mudding. We go to a different part. We like get in the road, and then we're at a different part. And while we're there, we come across another creek, but this one looks a little bit not super clean. Like it's all muddy and stuff. And so we're just sort of running around near it, and we find a wrecked Speedo McBeedo. Not a four-wheeler. It's just a bunch of white junk that looks like a shell, right? It looked like someone had crashed their dirt bike, but took most of the metal, so it was just like and it looked burnt. Someone crashed it and it blew up. And so I'm like, holy crud, it's a Speedo McBeedo from Star Wars. We are on the forest moon of Endor. And we're like, well, what do we do with junk that we find in the woods? Dwayne's like, I got the guns in the back of the truck. So we take it to the shooting range. We start shooting stuff. We just shoot everything. We're shooting barrels. We're shooting broken microwaves. We're shooting all of the everything. We shot up the shell of the dirt bike. And, we're shooting a bunch of different guns. We got like a bunch of people shooting different guns at the same time. And Dwayne mostly stuck to his shotgun. And Matty wasn't shooting. Matty was like behind him a little bit. And one of his shots, he shot the shotgun, and the shotgun shell went straight back into Matty's eye. Oh, it was bad. He sat in the car with me the rest of the time. But we still watched. I was watching out the front windshield, and my dad had this he had a revolver. I think it was the Magnum. Yeah. What number? Was that like a Magnum 44?
No, it would have been like 35...
37. Yeah, 357. I think
358.
I think it was the Magnum 358. 358 Magnum. And shot it. And there was like a refrigerator back there, and up against the refrigerator was this barrel, and he was like shooting a water bottle on top of the barrel. But he missed the water bottle and he shot the barrel. The barrel was full of oil. And it blew up. And it sent this refrigerator flying. It was the coolest thing I ever saw. But shrapnel was going everywhere. Like some of it hit the front of the car. It was really dangerous. Someone could have got hurt pretty seriously. That shooting, but we're out in Holopah. There's no police in Holopah. No one's gonna care. The shooting range was not up to safety standards. There was just a whole bunch of junk that had not been touched or cleaned out. And so there was this barrel full of gasoline or oil or something, and he shot it, and it blew like, you see explosions in movies and stuff. This was one of those. This was like massive explosion, coolest thing I've ever seen. Really, it was. Oh, it was wonderful. And the refrigerator, like I said, flew like that. It didn't come towards us or away from us. It went like sideways. And it was doing flips in the air and stuff. And it hit a tree. And that smashed and a bunch of sparks came out. Dude, that was pretty cool. And so we went home that day. And I was wearing my favorite pair of Velcro shoes. I was still pretty young at the time. And I put them outside to dry and wash them off, And yeah, we never did that. And so years later, I walked out of my house. This was at my old house with the lake. I walked out of my house and I saw my shoes sitting at the front door, because they have been sitting at the front door for years. Like, I remember the first day of fourth grade, I walked outside. I'm like, those are my shoes from when I was like 6. My favorite pair of shoes that we never washed. And I was so angry about my shoes not being washed. Like, every time I looked at them, we all forgot about them because they were small shoes. And when we walked outside, there was these shoes, man. My favorite pair of shoes ever. This, of course, was before I started wearing exclusively Converse and my single exception of Vans slip-ons. Man, I was angry about these shoes. I forget what brand they were. Favorite shoes, Velcro shoes, nice color. They were not like, they were nice. They were comfy. You could wear them. You could wear them formal, like in formal occasions as well as casual occasions. Like they weren't super formal, they weren't super casual. They were right in the middle. They were at that sweet spot. I'd wear them everywhere. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll wash them in a couple days. No, never got to wear those shoes again. Kind of angry about that.